All right, we are standing here with a couple of the members with the launch team for the Investor Syndicate, really just mapping out the roadmap, where we want to go, putting together and formulating the future plans for our community, for the project. We have Jason Rader, who's Robin.
Yeah, Robin to Ben's Batman. Look out, tricks.
And we got my boy David Dowdy. And David is well-versed, been involved in the back of the scenes with a lot of NFT launch projects, and he's kind of helping to guide us and collaborate as we go down into the metaverse, into the world of blockchain, and really help to empower the members inside of our community once we launch, to give them the tools that they need to step into the world of decentralized finance. At the end of the day, the most important thing I think is that we help more people make a lot of life-changing money. Right.
Your metaverse guide, if you will.
Yeah, we'll be a simple guide into the metaverse, but we're going to explore all things blockchain and just help to equip people, to give them the knowledge, the insight, and the confidence to make investment moves.
Decisions for themselves.
Yeah, which again, we're not financial advisors by any means. That's not what we're doing, but we're simply here as a tour guide to show you the world.
You saw how quick, though, you almost put yourself into exactly giving financial advice?
Yeah.
Like that's like the disclaimer's got to come on the front end. That way, no matter what you say.
So really, one of the primary goals of this conversation is for us to sit down or stand up together, where we can talk about the future vision of our community, where we can at least visualize and start to map out the roadmap and the future plans with where we plan to go. Right, so obviously at this point, we have the two core pillars, right, which is the Investor Vault. And the Investor Vault is where we break down in its simplest form the easiest way to trade cash for crypto, right? Like you can buy crypto on Coinbase. And then from there, how you can send that to a third-party wallet, right, a MetaMask, Trust Wallet, whatever your method of use might be, and have access to some of these layer 2 tokens, whether it be on the Ethereum blockchain, on the ERC20 layer, maybe a Binance project, right, the BEP20s, or now we got Solana projects and a whole world of decentralized finance when it comes down to it, right? But really this is just the center to kind of give people a roadmap and a greater understanding of what cryptocurrency, NFTs, and blockchain technology kind of is, right? And then we have the members area, right? The inner circle. And the inner circle is in place to bring everyone together, right? To give us an alpha investment circle where you're networking with multimillionaires, right? High-end investors, average Joes, right? But it's a space where we can all come together, collaborate, share ideas, share different investment strategies, and really just take this world by storm. So we're excited to dive in, guys, and see what that looks like. So we've been talking for a while on the best ways that we can really position ourselves and put together a cohesive community that gives value to our members, right? End of the day, it's an inner circle network. It's almost like your consulting group of people where we can just shoot ideas back and forth, right? But it needs to be so much deeper than that. How do we bring value back to our people, to our tribe, so we can empower them not only with the knowledge, but give them something to stand on and take ownership of as we march into the future. So there's a lot. We can go down some rabbit holes with this, I think, right? Yeah. But one of the big things we've been talking about is once we establish this, right? Once we have enough community input, it starts with the core launch team, right? So we're in the process of developing the core group to help us really bring this vision to life, right? We're going to bring the message, bring our story in our community, get it out to the world. So launch team is number one, right? How do we equip the launch team to give them not only the tools and the marketing strategies, but also equip them with value that pays itself tenfold, right? Affiliate structures, way that they can get involved in the movement. I think putting together an NFT project in the near future is one of the inevitables.
Great.
And one of the things I believe the launch team is doing is the metaverse and this digital world is all new. That's why we say nobody here is a financial expert, but we're learning about it.
Yeah.
And when you're out there, it's like being in the wilderness. And anytime you go out in the wilderness, you need the proper gear and guide service. And it makes the experience sometimes livable to even beneficial. I think that's what we're looking to do, is go out there into the wilderness, find out what's going on, be in tune with the communities, be in tune with what moves are being made and what's happening, what projects are opening up, which ones didn't work out, and most importantly, why.
Yeah.
And then we can bring that back and really cut a lot of the time out and pass on some really good information.
That's incredible. I think you just hit the head on the nail. Like, that's it. This is unknown territory that we're venturing into, right? And there's unlimited possibilities. You got to make sure that you keep your circle tight, right? And make sure that there will be mishaps. People are going to make mistakes. I've lost money. I've lost a crap ton of money on some rug pull projects, right? But that was my education, right? That was the price that I had to pay to venture into some of these projects. And a lot of it was lack of education, right? But I paid a nice price to learn those hard lessons that hopefully others can avoid.
One of them, they're not all just, bad projects. Some of them are mainstream projects, but if you knew that once you got into their token, it was only good there and there was no backing out of it. There's a lot of mainstream projects out there like that too, where it would help to know that there as well.
That's a good point, man. So what's your take, man, when we're looking at...
I think looking at the launch team, I agree with everything. Ultimately, we're sharing our experience and valuable lessons and non-valuable lessons as well, equally. So not everyone has to get a taste of crap on their face when they
Yeah.
Hey, dude, when I bought Shiro the other day, made a rookie mistake. When we deleted the 0 and added the 1, we deleted 2 zeros. So I paid $160 in gas for $150 worth of tokens.
Dang.
Cost price averaging.
Cost you gas money.
Yeah. So but at the end of the day, it's like, wow, that was terrible. What was that all about? Like, my excitement with getting in while it was low, I ended up paying double because I didn't read that one little digit in the 5th line, right there. That's the most crucial one, which I know. So,
yeah.
Being able to teach these lessons that, that's fortunately the only time I had that happen, but, I had it this late in the game, so it stuck out. It's like, oh, that was I had to pull over, bro. I had to pull over and just be like, yeah, that's what you bought.
That happened.
Had that little conversation.
That
Way to go,
your,
Jason.
That was your. Oh, it was a little. To be honest with you, I was a little disappointed in myself talk at that moment. But that all being said, helping people empowering them to succeed in this space, and also equipping them to not take wounds and bleed is, I think, the real aim here. And I think the launch team, we're all going to come from a slightly different background of interest. And that's one of the things I think that's most important, is that we have some diversity in our perspectives and frame of reference. That's why I like talking to miners back when Ethereum was proof of work only, because their entire perspective on the whole blockchain industry going forward is different because they were so saturated in 2015 to 2018. And so I find that super interesting because even with the development of NFTs, that didn't come till after a lot of people had their decade-long run in Bitcoin and in the development of altcoins to even become aware that was where Ethereum's next hybridization, so to say, was going, or developmental application. So identifying the content too, that someone, I can already tell you're a lot more into NFTs than me, just by hearing you talk a little bit. So like, I'm going to be super open and kind of salivating on the eardrum, so to say, at some things where I have a lot of questions and a lot of gaps, and my personal curiosity from my own personal frame of reference. So I think I think the primary thing though is everyone's passionate.
Yeah.
You know, as long as everyone's interested in it, you know, I'm a huge proponent of like do what I love, and I'm going to make a killing at it. And it may take 2 years, but then, you know, it is what it did in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing what I wanted to do anyway and getting paid to do it. So I think this is another great example of where I've seen that come into my life. And I hope we get to be a part of more people getting to experience that.
I see the inner circle in itself, right? Like the goal is to get this network, the largest, most elite network of investors and entrepreneurs, quite possibly in the world, right? I mean, that's a pretty lengthy thing to say, but it's possible, right? But I see that the circle, I see that morphing and taking a bunch of little circles, right? Like little core groups, little tribes where the people from within, right? We got the NFT community marketplace or whatever, right? We have the ERC20 junkies, you know, playing the pool coin,
Very
the meme coin
important.
game. You got the you got your Binance experts, and you got your project development team. So within the inner circle, right, there's a lot of different interweavings, and even within the development team, as we grow and expand our vision and the knowledge there within, you know, we can build different little pieces and sections, right, as our DNA continues to morph and turns into a little gear socket that might just
Pretty
live
sure
in a
that's
clock.
Omicron, but
Or,
whatever.
yeah, all wrapped it together, right? It's us against the oh yeah, I was gonna say Omicron. I was gonna go down a rabbit hole with
The
that.
wilderness.
I mean, you drew it. It's like, yeah, so
it's
that's a
us,
flower.
Yeah, it's us in the wilderness, right? Just taking our gear-looking flower, if you will, but this is the web and the networks and the projects, right? So NFT launch that lives here, right? And getting carried away here, but where I'm going with it, it starts with a very small idea, right? An idea to get outside of our comfort zone, outside of our own way, to come here in the wilderness.
Make some money and get back home safe.
Yeah, and bring the community with us. I think that's the most important thing with it.
That's clearly it.
So what does this look like? How can we develop community-driven benefits for people that want to be a part of the tribe, that want to come in the community? I think having a projected NFT launch would be pretty incredible, especially if we can structure it in a sense that based on a certain member's contribution to the group, whether it be moderation, right, or interaction in our community thread, right, answering questions, asking whatever that looks like, having different tiers, right, different levels of badges, if you will, that can eventually be tracked on certain metrics, right, based on interaction and involvement, that you have a unique custom NFT, minted NFT, right, that's based on like a tier level of membership.
You build it through Discord and through Twitter and through Instagram and across to Facebook and YouTube. You run link trees on each one of those profiles, drawing people back to Discord, which is right now is a great hub for everyone to communicate and have links to other places. Links sometimes back to the OpenSea page to purchase the NFT itself. It's about how easy is it to purchase the NFT. Like, is it easy, and will the process collapse mid transaction, or will it be a successful transaction where you see the NFT itself manifest in your OpenSea wallet, where you can look at it and see, yep, I got it, and it ties to the utilities the way it's supposed to, and the things that are listed in the white pages and in the white documents are come to fruition. And that's what it's about building.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, there's a big space for that. And from what we see following the money, there's a real big demand for that too.
100%. So that NFT, in a sense, is your membership card, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you're holding, we'll just say an investor syndicate NFT, right? And obviously we'll structure it in a way, we'll have a deeper community-driven aspect with it. But looking at OpenSea, we put together just to claim the profile, right? We got investor syndicate set up. Who knows where it goes, right? Who knows what directions it spawns into? Could very well be a different name.
Moonshot.
Could be
Moonshot
the
this
Lambo
thing.
Bros, whatever that looks like. But for now, we have just one NFT sitting here, which is the idea, right? This is the seed that's been planted, that we've been cultivating, watering, nourishing, building out the systems and the structures to put them in place to help bring other people on board to be a part of something much larger than themselves, right? And then from there, as a member of the community, well, guess what? Maybe we can have voting rights on what metaverse land we want to invest in, or what tour vacation we want to go on a virtual yacht with the whole freaking aspect, right?
Power and pooling.
Yeah, power and pooling. So again, opportunities are endless, right? We could build a virtual warehouse where we have these live events or conferences, seminars, where we can all sit together in one room, talk strategy. It's going to feel like you're interacting with people in real life, somewhere in space, right? Putting on them Oculus glasses, or if Elon Musk ever, I ain't getting chipped, I'll tell you that much. But if they ever come out with that brain chip that they talk about to tap into some 3D reality,
I like
that's
the
some
idea
weird
of putting
stuff.
it on and taking it off. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, our grandkids aren't they're gonna get chipped.
Either that or like a contact, something that goes over your eyes, right, where you can simulate information and.
Well, I think the only thing with that is you have to have a source to project onto that lens, and so that's what the guys. Well, I say the guys. I'm talking about Elon and what's his nuts. They're well, that's the current restriction to it.
Right.
For augmented is that the contact lens needs to have a projection source, which needs to have a power source.
Why not just play off of someone's thermal energy?
Well, go to get an NFT, figure it out.
They will figure it out. The guys.
Those guys are working. We got Bezos and Musk over there working on their stuff. We're going to keep this moving too.
No doubt. I mean, the fact that there's a man that's currently building a rocket ship to fly to the moon right now. He's got that boldness and audacity to say, "We're going. Who's coming with me?"
It's nuts. That started as a thought.
Started as a thought.
Just like this. Let's rein in on a couple things though. What else can be done? There's a lot of things that you see with the poop coins. They like to do reflections. They like to be able to tote that their membership gives you a passive income potential. Mm-hmm. And some people believe this stuff. They really do, and they buy it. In some cases, there really is. And there's a lot of different fine prints. If you have it in this wallet, you could get some in this, or if you mint this NFT and hold it for X period, then you get X amount of whatever cryptocurrency multiplied over time. They have all these different types of incentive package. Some of them look like Ponzi schemes. Some of them have some real relationship to the burn rate of the program, of the project too. So it's not like they're just diluting the market cap with, making up or releasing new tokens, which is done regularly too. So I think that's a great idea to consider for the NFT. Like, is this NFT have the possibility to earn me money without me doing anything? Mm-hmm. Is it going to get me rights to future NFTs?
Yeah.
Is it going to get me at the front of the line at Olive Garden?
Hopefully.
Think about this. Let's be NFTs are going to transition the way we do business the same way the barcode transitioned retail sales. Everything going from looking for the numbers, they'll figure out the sales tax later, or what is this? It doesn't have a sticker, and just all the labor intensiveness in it.
Yeah.
Just gone like that. And now we look at scanning, right? I got to stand here and wait for how long for all this stuff to be scanned? Imagine if they were rotating that thing around looking for that sticker. And this one's, hey, Jimmy! Someone send Jimmy and tires down there to find out the price on this inner tube.
Yeah.
that's, I think, a similar transition that we're going to have, because the NFT is going to be capable of all the things that everyone's thinking about, but so much more. And that it'll really be like, I had a hard time thinking of my wallet as like something I wanted people to see, because I was born in 81. I got my first wallet in 85, and that was like my wallet. It was like stealing dollars from then on out, or hiding them. It wasn't like it was just the cultural thing at the time. But if I think of what the wallet really is, get past the name, and it's basically like, or where I believe the future of this is going, is it's like, I want everyone to know how fucking cool I am, right? So I went to the World Series. Like, I did go to the World Series. I go to all these football games. I go to all this stuff. I don't post that stuff on my story because I'm not trying to be stalked, or I don't want people to know when I'm out of town so they'll fucking rob me again. But but that all being said, someone could look at my wallet and see ultimately the barcode, and every barcode that's ever been purchased by that one, and see my social stigmata and profile.
All stored in the ledger.
All stored in the ledger, all unpervertible, and tied directly into this new digital socio-influential world that we live in. So you won't be like these clowns with, the blue check thing, I get it, it's great. I know I'm verifying a source there, so that's important. But this is going to be like the undisputable way to verify anything. Even a celebrity that could have done this could lie about this, but the NFTs don't lie.
Yeah. No
one added admission to Coachella NFT onto your wallet so your friends would like you. You were there, or you weren't. And so that all being said, I'm not like pushing that as some super cool thing. I think it's kind of I think it's super interesting, but
it's terrifying at the same time.
We're about to have a transformative shift in the way we perceive each other, and
the way that we do business, the way that we interact, the way that we make the money, the way that we spend money.
The same way we were just talking about comparing the stickers on everything. Like, can you think about this? Back in the 80s, every damn thing in Walmart had a sticker. Those guns, those rolls of stickers.
Just unending. And I think you said something earlier. Think about leaving the grocery store just with what you're carrying, and everything's just scanned already, and it hits your wallet as you walk out. Checkout lines disappear. That's a whole...
What's the point of a checkout line? If they can tell when the computer goes through that gate, how come they can't ring it up and take it from the wallet simultaneously? Right. They can. Is it cost effective right now? No. Is it industry acceptable right now? Mm-hmm. No. But will we get there? Probably going to have it shoved down our throats.
So that's
Omicron.
Yeah. So that's a real world Omicron. Speak about
shove it down their
speak about being shoved down your throat, right?
Literally.
We'll save that for another day. Watch some Joe Rogan podcasts and listen to some doctors that have formulated. Yeah,
it also looks like a butthole.
That podcast is blowing up.
It's a starfish, bro. It's a freaking starfish, all right?
Sorry, y'all. Anyhow, cut the butthole part.
Oh, no, it'd be kind of funny.
Keep it. It's a keeper.
Oh, shoot.
I wouldn't shit it.
Funny. That's funny stuff. Yeah, I think we lost the plane on that launch.
Yeah, well, let's bring it back in. What did you want to accomplish?
All right, so that was really good. I like the just organic flow like that is cool.
I think the positions of who needs to be on the team, like obviously the team's going to be expansive.
We need developers.
We definitely need developers. I think a good developer. And is there a differentiation between developer and coder, or is one like a project manager and contractor separate entirely from each other?
I think we need to vet that part for sure.
We need to know what we're doing here.
What do you want that person, which aspect of it do you want them to build? Do you want them to generate the collection itself? Do you want them to build the page where everyone goes to mint the NFT that's connected to your wallet?
Can someone do both?
Yeah. Dude, we can hire them for $5,000 right now.
These people exist.
$3,500 we can make a project of customly minted NFTs, bro.
Yeah, but do we have a secure way to verify independently that the code doesn't have anything in it?
That's my biggest fear, is because obviously they have their own unique nature and form, right? It's on a whole different layer than the ERC20, right? So different code all the way together. That stuff's outside of my scope. But
hold on, what's the language that Ethereum that builds on Ethereum? Solemn, something.
I have no idea.
Not Solana. The coding language for Ethereum blockchain is called not Solana.
CELA or S?
I don't know. A coder told me about this. And so whether you're on the 20, 721, 1155, whatever thread you're on, whatever you're developing, metaverse, NFT, shitcoin, you're still building in that language. So
You have to. If you're using their so you think of the program, it's a pre-existing
so I'm
system.
saying Solana writers
like an
and
Apple
Ethereum
computer.
writers could have a way that, like, but someone that's an expert in Ethereum is going to be behind the curve. Someone that's just
Right.
getting into Solana.
And you
to
best
some
believe
degree.
that they're already working with some high-profile teams, right?
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
One of
So
the
we gotta
things
get in there.
to look at is they'll have past projects they've worked on, and then we can go research and see how the project's done. And if it's such a person that can do this, they're probably looking to repeat it. So they're going to want to show their work that they've done, and say, "Hey, I was a part of this project, and it was successful." So they'll have a track record, as opposed to someone who it might be their first time working on the project. They're going to charge less to do such things, but a more of a vetting process could be done where it's like, hey, why don't we do a Zoom call and meet, see who they are. That might be one way to.
Yeah. I question if there is some type of like how you got the CerTIC audit with the ERC-20 or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a stamp of approval from one of the best and highest rated auditing companies in the industry.
Or they'll give you a grade, and then based on
Yeah.
that number out of 100, if it's.
So there's got to be something unique with the NFT space as well. Because, I mean, obviously the most important thing with any community, because your name's behind it, right? Security. You got to protect your community, your vision, your organization, your baby. Protect it at all costs.
I like that, protecting the community. So I'm sitting here just kind of running the numbers on some of these projects that I'm looking at, and I'm like, oh my gosh, none of the 30,000 holders are really making any money, but Adidas is getting 6%, and there's 17 transactions an hour. Like, this is a crowdfunding tool,
Yeah,
as well. I'm not saying that. I mean, just looking at the data, I'm like, they're just
100%.
sitting here generating it. So, and everyone knows that, knew that going into it, and that's perfectly the standard. But what are they doing with it? What are we doing? If we have an NFT, what are we doing with the royalties? Now, I don't think paying reflections is like a great thing.
I think right now would be a good time to invest money into mining rigs into different established coins,
Gosh, I like this guy.
and then showing the following, like, hey, we have plans to generate revenue as a group, and we have plans to disperse it. That set forth in a vision right now is enough to get people to say, okay,
I'm in.
I want to participate in that. And if they believe you're genuine in it and you're really trying, what makes them become an advocate where they're going to bring somebody else with them? And so.
I love this. I'm already about a month into, like,
He's been down rabbit holes with the mining. He took a trip out to Augusta, man, to go check out an operation.
I got a
try to
couple
get
mining rigs. Do
That's
Dogecoin
awesome.
and Litecoin and Ethereum. None of them are set up. They're all in order. They all take weeks to get, and it took me weeks till I knew what I wanted to get. So I haven't mined a single thing. But
Well, that's amazing. Congratulations.
I'm excited about it.
And it's no easy task, as you've discovered. And that is such. You went into the. Was that not the wilderness? Were you not kind of out there just
Right.
diving into?
I mean,
just talking to whoever was already.
No, I got fortunate. I had a target. I knew who I wanted, and I knew they had the experience and the information. They were just so enveloped in their other business entity that actually just came along to support them out of the blue and was like, actually Andy came, made a video for his store down there, which is another awesome opportunity. This guy's a super intelligent and motivated and man of action. So I'm going to gravitate towards that anyway, even if he couldn't have taught me as much as he was able to, or give me some confidence. So part of the deal for me to get his attention was like, I knew he had this new store. I remember I've known him for years, but I was like, dude, and he does great videography. Bring him down here, help you, do something you can use to promote it. Not because I was like, oh, maybe he'll, give me, something, but I just knew that, like, if I'm going to get his attention, and I know how valuable his time is, like, I to bring something at a good time, and he gave me an invitation. Hey, it's going to be a shit show here. Andy, let's go. Let's video it. Make a video for him, and then at the end of it, as it kind of the dust settled, he was just like, yeah, man, I was like, I got a bunch of questions, and he answered everything for me. But what that looked like going into the jungle for me was that. That's how I went.
Learning.
Now, I had already done a lot of my own research, Googling, etc., on different, eBay studying rigs, and I did enough to scare myself to, like, I needed someone with experience.
Like, how do you give back to your investors? Hey, well, let us tell you about the wonderful plans we have. While Jason's working on mining, David's over here scalping out the NFT project, seeing if you would like to be in that space, you have a position for it here. We're working on different things. So that's what we're doing in order to generate revenue to give back in some vehicle, whatever that looks like, to where it gets money back into their wallets, to where when they're walking in the grocery store, it suddenly turned into money. That's cool. That's almost a magical thing to be able to just sit down and create that. But it's right now it's possible.
And so in that finite case of, like, creating more cryptocurrencies through mining and powering the group there, like, there's also these other avenues that bring value to the group. Say someone, let's just say there's someone that's just really wanting to test their investor, wherewithal, entrepreneurship, and this new age and trend of investing in entrepreneurship that's coming mainstream. But really, they just don't have any friends. So to them, just being a part of the group that and Halloween happens to be their favorite holiday, and they know we're gonna, get the Capital City Club like we do every year and have the Investor Syndicate Halloween Masquerade Ball, and they're just fucking showing up for the party.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying I'm not trying to clown on that person. I'm trying to just pose another interest that the community resources being used for the community can provide a large or a significant interest to different interest groups. Obviously, that I like use a far stretched example there, not just to show that, like, even someone that's not into these things, from a personal interest or even an investor standpoint, could still very well be drawn into it just by the nature of what the community is building and that social rapport.
There's a lot of layers, right? Many layers to be peeled back to get involved, to even encourage the people from within, the members, to create their own little subgroups or passion projects, right? Where they can take the baton, if you will, right, and run the charge for whatever mission or vision, as long as it lines up with our core values.
I like how you can turn it into a soundboard to test your ideas, to where it's not just an echo chamber, to where if it's a good idea, you'll get feedback from sources that matter. If it's not a good idea, then you'll get feedback on that as well, so you can move on. Because I don't know about y'all, but I have 500 ideas a day. They're not all good, so it's good to not act on all of them. Some of them are downright dangerous.
Learning to rein in the squirrel.
Absolutely.
Rein in the squirrel.
Well,
I'm the same way, bro.
And then as you're having that conversation or having those, building more relationships, like, there's just the natural, like,
synergy.
Let's see, between the three of us, let's do the Vegas odds here. How long do you think between the three of us, one of us is going to meet a developer that's qualified to do exactly what we want? How long do you think it's going to take between the three of us?
What's today? Thursday?
The 6th. Yeah. I would under 30 days. Under 30 days, probably all three of us have someone either naturally in our network that we haven't identified yet, or someone we're about to meet, or about to meet someone who's going to introduce to someone else. But having any type of community focused on anything, I mean, it's blown my mind how I've watched one of my friends that does process engineering. We went on a mission trip in Honduras, and this guy was like, I own a pig farm out in the upstate. I really could use someone like you to help me. And, for 3 years we're going on these mission trips, and he's talking about, I got a lot of waste out there on the farm. I'm sure someone like you could figure it out. And he's thinking, he's got a 6-figure job. This pig farmer probably can't afford him. And finally, when he got shit canned from his other job or whatever happened with that deal, he was like, yeah, about that thing. And he's over there, he comes in, sees the operation, and he's able to save this guy like $500,000 in waste day one. Like they had that there the whole time. They just didn't bridge that shell because they weren't. The intention was the mission there. This mission, if the mission's focused on connecting and identifying available resources or options or leverage and positions through other people's capabilities or experience, then that's a whole nother layer in there as well. And that's what I think a lot of people are looking for, because they always just feel like they're one or two connections away from a breakthrough.
And what that comes down to is just this simple term right here. My favorite freaking idea in the world. Proximity is power. If you just think about that, let that resonate for a minute. Like the people that you surround yourself with, the environments that you immerse yourself in. It's like a seed being dropped in the soil, right? It's got to be fertile ground. It has to be a space where it can be encouraged and uplifted and fed the nutrients that it needs to grow, right? So having that synergy, having the power of an inner circle of all types of different skill sets, all type of different backgrounds, beliefs, but we all share a common vision and common mission, right? And that's just to break through the financial matrix, right? Because we see that the traditional banking system is collapsing right in front of our face. Whether people,
rather strange things are happening.
People want to recognize that or not, right? But we're currently experiencing the largest separation of wealth in human history happening right in front of our eyes, right? So obviously one of us cannot go down these rabbit holes and explore the wilderness alone without having a roadmap, without having a tour guide, right? But how do we formulate and put together that community, right, where we band together, right? It's not just the core development team, it's not just the launch team, but it's the people, right? The power inside of the group where the value really lies.
Some sort of soundboard room, like where everyone knows I can post here, and I'll get an answer to my question. Football teams have them, message boards, something to that effect.
Fort Aid Yacht Club has the bathroom board.
And I think that's inside a Discord. Meeting there to be able to have your idea heard out. You can share the media you have and the files you have there if you so choose, and have other people look at it and validate it, suggest, or whatever that looks like. That's valuable right now.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it bridges it definitely puts the power into anyone's hand as well to be able to do what historically had only been done through like Skull and Bones and Illuminati of like collectively just coming together somewhat covertly but very intentionally for a common individual and team purpose or narrative, whatever. I
mean, it's opened up the gateway, right? From where you had the buku corporations, the global elites, old school marketing, right? Where they knew the roadmap, they had the insight on how to build these systems, right, to keep people working as cogs in the machine. And with the rapid increase of technology and the internet, free information, as we branched out from the industrial age into the information age, right? Average Joes, regular life people like you and I, started to get access to new information, new ideas, new ways to interact and collaborate across state borders, not just that, across the entire world, right? So it's broken down that iron gate, right, that was keeping everyone else out. And what I believe, all this power and struggle that we're going through now with the division in parties, race, misunderstandings, it really is just, it's a clash good and evil. It's a clash global, elite, and small middle class people, low class, if you will, right? Small middle America.
There's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on because they're fighting back, right? You got the people that are rising up that have more information and knowledge and opportunities than ever before.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have the global elite who still are trying to hold up this iron gate that can't withstand that weight any longer.
Well, that's why they're physically distancing us.
Yeah.
And putting cloth over your mouth and calling it a mask.
Freaking nuts, dude.
Then the advances in technology could be largely compromised to giving power to the people, because now there's not, it's like if all the ants get together in a bug's life, the grasshoppers don't stand a chance, right?
You control the media and what
But
they
if
see.
you
And
spread the ants around to where they have to stay away from each other, then even when they're hip to the game, they lose.
freaking nuts, dude.
One of the things that social media has done for me that it's hard to even say this out loud, but it's positive, is it's informed my narrative about other places in the world that I wouldn't otherwise know about. My local news channels, plural, show me a lot of the same stuff. I don't know what's going on in Kazakhstan or in Australia. All you'll hear about is what's going on downtown with testing or whatever. And that's important and it has a space, but I'd also like to know about other things too.
Yeah. Not just the fear and the propaganda and the killing and the violence and the Omicron and the diseases.
Or
right,
what they want me to watch to sell me something.
It grips the reins of society and it pulls people back, right, so tight where they live in a state of fear.
It's not healthy all the time, and I'm not the first person to say that. We are not going to be the last. Typically, if there's so many people saying the same thing, it's going to be true usually.
Yeah. Terrifying when they start controlling and editing the type of information you could see.
I've never seen Google collectively manipulated the way I've seen it the past year, to where used to be, if you wanted to answer something, you'd say Google it. Now I don't know what to say.
You don't know what to
Don't
believe
go
or trust anymore.
It almost turned to when you're
It's
number
like
one.
Googling's a proof of consensus.
When TikTok becomes your news source, it's wild out there right now.
It sure
No,
is.
they're stupid. They eat Tide Pods, these kids. That's when they were in school.
There are things that I'm hearing and learning now that I like to go back and validate in other places.
Mhm.
I like to see it in a lot of different sources. Then I say, okay, that might have happened. And there are some things where it's so hard to believe that might have happened that I find myself going back and doing the loop, re-verifying everything again. You don't want to be a source of misinformation, but if all the information is pointing in one direction, then that's not misinformation.
Manipulation.
It's
at its
undeniable.
finest.
That's
Yeah.
one of the things that someone taught me. You have to be undeniable,
Mm.
above reproach.
Some crazy stuff, man. And then reining it back to the community aspects, what we're seeing is power in numbers, right? What is the whole narrative behind, like, the apes, right?
Mhm.
The apes. Let's talk about what happened with Wall Street,
Wow.
right? Let's go back to earlier this year.
I'm going to slide on out before y'all get into the Wall Street section, just because I got to hit the head and get running.
Word.
Yeah. But it was
Nice to
fun
meet you,
time.
man. Yeah, it's
See
fun.
you on the flip,
Sorry I couldn't stay
broski.
for the whole thing. Andy, keep it up. Send me that thing whenever you're ready.
Wall Street?
Get 'em.
Wall Street apes.
Tell me about the apes.
Wall Street, is that an NFT?
No, the Wall Street apes were AMC, where they tried to short it. And the
Oh.
people that call themselves the apes, they're the people that band together
I
on
didn't know
Reddit.
that.
Yeah, that's where the apes came from, bro.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's the whole narrative behind the apes.
Bored
That's-
Apes Yacht Club.
That's
makes
why
sense
that's
now.
why it's such a big freaking movement, bro. Is
I
because
didn't know where it came from.
let me know when you're ready to record and we'll talk about it.
Rolling.
All right. So let's go back to earlier this year
Mhm.
when the hedge funds that shorted AMC and GameStop,
Wow,
right? Like
yeah.
collectively they came together, and you had a bunch of the big corporations and hedge funds that shorted them, pulled out their money, saying, hey, they're going to go below a certain metric. And all the smaller people, right? The people band together on Reddit. There was either insider
Reddit.
knowledge or whatever information was fed through that chain. but they bought up all of those shorted shares where the hedge funds tried to get back in and they could not. And that investment move in itself put the funds to the basically a place of no return, right? Where they're in like unlimited debt. And the apes ended up on the upside of that, and also saved freaking GameStop and AMC from going bankrupt in that season.
It's a ripple effect.
Ripple effect. And now the power behind that, the reason we see so many ape NFTs like Bored Ape Yacht Club and everything else is it's an effect of that, right? It's almost like power back to the people, and it's like almost it's that they call themselves the apes, the people
Bored
that shorted
apes.
it. So it's like the apes versus Wall Street, right? And it's just the whole kind of narrative and the culture that's fueled behind that is pretty incredible to see.
Now the monkeys have the boats and the yachts. It's everything's coming off. I've never seen anything like it, and I don't think other people have either. This is a unique thing that's been created from I don't know. It's nuts.
Probably, from an idea, but also from community, right? People that decided to band together. At the end of the day, that's what happened.
Sharing information is important. It's always been important. Whoever has the information first. I think that's really a big thing. Is now anymore, it's not about getting the information. It's about getting it before everyone else, and that's important. Like and in order for that to happen, you have to be in position to catch it. And
Oh, yeah.
You have to know who else is in that position and how they get there. And it's right now, people are being very kind and sharing that across platforms. And it's a cool thing.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's inspiring just to be around other creators, other people that are in the space that, you might have some super wealthy people, and you might have some people that are just barely making it by, but we're all coming together. We're all exploring this new space, this new area, to help collaborate, to raise one another up, right? To help us understand this new technology and this new way of life, if you will, because life's never going to be the same.
It's changing. It's always changing. The only thing that's constant is change, someone said.
Yeah. It's incredible, man. But again, power in numbers. If we could press on anything beyond any of it, I think it's the importance of building this community up, making sure that we continue to inspire, encourage, and elevate one another, whether it be our limiting beliefs, our knowledge and understanding on a new emerging market, right? Our collaboration across different projects, right? And just sharing the love.
I think that's important. You know, if this type of stuff interests you, then you're in a niche market right now, and if it interests us enough so that we've dived into it, and I enjoy sharing about it and getting to talk about it.
Yeah, it's fun. Just enjoying the journey, you know.
Yes.
Invest a little bit in the education, and let's enjoy the journey, man. At the end of the day, I think that's what it's all about. Love it. Hope you guys got something out of this. This was a deep dive, squirrel moment, going down some different rabbit holes. But again, forces are coming together, right? There's a great shifting, a great momentum mover that's changing a lot of different dynamics across our culture as we know it. And so our goal for you guys is for you guys to at least step outside of your comfort zone, right? To explore and expand your mindset, venture into some new ideas, some new opportunities, and find an inner circle that you can count on, that you can trust, and that you can invest together, go into war together, prepare for battle together, right? But
Try
at the end of the
something
day, let's break bread.
Very good.
Boom. That was cool, huh?
That was good. That was perfect.
That was a little marathon, dude. Little
I didn't realize how much work it is to talk and think, because you gotta be because I'm